What is up, guys? Delboy here. Is Jermall Charlo serious about becoming an elite level middleweight? Because right now it seems he's content to sit on the outside looking in while fighting less than stellar competition. The last time we saw Jermall Charlo in the ring was December the 22nd against Matvey Korobov, and that fight was actually fairly close. It was a fight where Jermall Charlo didn't really look too good, and basically since then he's kind of gone under the radar. What is going on with Jermall Charlo? Where does his immediate future lie with the PBC? What options does he have, and should he really consider joining the likes of DAZN? I mean, as we know, DAZN hold all of the middleweight keys right now. They have Danny Jacobs, Canelo Alvarez and Gennady Golovkin, arguably the three biggest names in the middleweight division. They are all on DAZN, and all of the titles are on DAZN. So Jermall Charlo really needs to do some thinking. If you believe Eddie Hearn, you know, he's courting Jermall Charlo. He's been interested in signing Jermall Charlo for quite some time. And, you know, for my money, it makes sense. If Jermall Charlo has the ambition to be a world-class middleweight, and if Jermall Charlo has the ambition to prove himself to be the best middleweight, then, you know, he really needs to consider signing with DAZN or Eddie Hearn, one of the two. It doesn't really matter, because, like I said, on the PBC, he's in danger of being on the outside looking in. I mean, if Jermall Charlo remains loyal to Al Haymon, what's out there for him right now at middleweight? I mean, even Billy Joe Saunders now is out of the equation, because it looks like Billy Joe is going to sign a co-promotional deal with Top Rank, and as we know, Al Haymon and Bob Arum don't really do business. So even Billy Joe Saunders, who's actually in a similar position to Jermall Charlo, isn't available to fight right now. You know, you can't really see Top Rank and the PBC working together to make Saunders versus Charlo. So what does Charlo have right now on the PBC? A Willie Monroe Jr. fight? I mean, does anybody care about that, really? I mean, maybe Jarrett Hurd is going to move up soon. You know, that fight could be there in the future, but right now, Jarrett Hurd seems keen on unifying at 154, so that's not going to happen in the foreseeable future. So what's there right now for Jermall Charlo? I would like to see an attitude change from Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo, like a lot of PBC fighters and Al Haymon fighters, I'll be honest, seem very entitled. You know, Jermall Charlo kind of acts like everyone should come to him, when in reality he's not bringing as much to the table as a Canelo Alvarez, as a Gennady Golovkin, as a Danny Jacobs, or even as a Demetrius Andrade right now. They have all of the options, and Charlo isn't bringing what they are bringing to the table. Jermall Charlo goes on about Canelo Alvarez ducking him. Why does Canelo Alvarez even need to fight Jermall Charlo right now? He has more proven options on DAZN. Danny Jacobs is a far more proven middleweight than Jermall Charlo, and he's fighting him next. The Gennady Golovkin trilogy fight is of far more importance than a Jermall Charlo fight. A unification fight with Demetrius Andrade is of far more importance than a Jermall Charlo fight. These guys bring more to the table, and Jermall Charlo, like I said, he needs to drop this entitlement issue he has, because he's acting like everyone needs to come to him. He's acting like he's the star, and listen, he's not. When Al Haymon, all of those years ago, paid fighters millions of dollars for fighting absolute scrubs, it created a generation of entitled fighters. I mean, look at the welterweight division right now. These guys are on one side of a street and they're not fighting each other. You have Gervonta Davis wanting no parts of Vasily Lomachenko, no parts whatsoever. He's content on fighting the likes of Hugo Ruiz and, you know, blown up featherweights coming off losses for millions of dollars. You know, when you pay fighters millions of dollars for easy work, They're either not going to want to fight anybody worth a risk without being significantly compensated, or they develop serious entitlement issues like Jermall Charlo. Jermall Charlo needs to get realistic. And for the record, I do believe Jermall Charlo wants these fights, but he knows what to do to get them. You know, staying with the PBC would indicate a lack of ambition, in my opinion. He's a middleweight. Like I said, all of the options are on DAZN, and staying with the PBC kind of indicates that he's, you know, not as ambitious as other fighters in his division. You know, he doesn't have to leave Al Haymon to go on DAZN. Al Haymon is a manager, he's not a promoter. You know, he's an advisor or a manager, whatever you want to call him. You know, most of these fighters under Al Haymon don't have exclusive deals. There is nothing stopping Jermall Charlo jumping on the DAZN bandwagon, even if it's for 3 or 4 fights. You know, if he's as good as he says he is, he can sign a 3 or 4 fight deal, go over to DAZN, win all of the titles, and then bring them back to Al Haymon. I mean, he could do that. There's nothing stopping him doing that. Eddie Hearn, you know, as we know, like I said, he's been on record in, you know, basically wanting to sign Jermall Charlo. Right now, it makes a lot of sense. It's the option that would present the fights Jermall Charlo apparently wants. But we will see what happens with his career. Right now, his career is stagnating. I mean, let's look at his last 3 opponents. He fought Jorge Sebastian Hyland in July 2017. That was his first fight at middleweight. He then fought Hugo Centeno Jr. in April 2018. And in December 2018, he fought Matvey Korobov. So, you know, it's not like Jermall Charlo is fighting great competition now. I mean, if you look at his resume, the last time Jermall Charlo was in a fight I cared about was when he fought Julian Williams in December 2016. You know, that was the last fight that I really wanted to see from Jermall Charlo, and he's given me nothing as a boxing fan since then. So if you're expecting me to sit here and expect to get good fights from Jermall Charlo while he's signed with the PBC, you're wrong. I mean, he needs to go to DAZN. Like I said, he doesn't have to leave Al Haymon. It's a really simple solution to his predicament, because right now he's struggling to get fights. Unless Jarrett Hurd moves up anytime soon, he's going to be in the wilderness. And yeah, the options just aren't on the PBC side of things. So Jermall Charlo has some thinking to do. You know, he really needs to plan out the next phase of his career. I think he needs to stop listening to certain people around him. You know, certain people around him are gassing him up. People were gassing him up to be the next best middleweight, or the best middleweight right now. People were saying he could beat Canelo, he could beat Golovkin. You know, nothing on his resume to date even indicates that. Nothing on his resume indicates he can even compete with the top middleweights. I mean, he struggled in his last fight to Matvey Korobov. You know, when you've got people around fighters gassing them up, like I said, it gives them a false sense of security. It gives them a sense of entitlement that they've not really earned. And, you know, we're left with guys like Jermall Charlo treading water, being involved in fights that nobody gives a damn about. I mean, even PBC fans, I mean, you couldn't have cared about Charlo versus Hugo Centeno Jr., or Charlo versus Jorge Sebastian Hyland, or Charlo versus a last-minute replacement in Matt Korobov. You couldn't have cared about these fights. I mean, are these the fights you want to see? No, man, I want to see better from Jermall Charlo. I want to see how good this guy is at middleweight. And the solution to that is simple. Share your thoughts below. Peace.